crunch time in this season's PFL. It's match number 57 between Maharlika FC and Aguilas Umak FC. Our second match this Sunday live from the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium. It's going to be Diego Cordero alongside Ed calling this one for you. And this is a match that is exciting for many different reasons. But if you look at it at first glance, you'll see that it's a match between two teams in a similar area in the table, and that might make it more interesting because they're both chasing the same spots. It's cooled off after our very hot afternoon. Ed, what do you make of this match that's about to be played in front of us?
Well, the best part of any league in world football is a proper mid-table clash, and that is exactly what we have in store for tonight's main event. We got 5th place Aguilas Umak against 7th place Maharlika. What's on the line here is that final chance to make it into the championship round, especially with the round 2 winding down. If Maharlika can pull off a proper result here, they can go ahead and get close into the championship round here. As we can see on the table, Maharlika is 23 points in 7th. If they can pull off all 3 points here, they can move up to 26 and prevent Aguilas from getting any more points.
So whoever wins tonight will get a massive 3 points. They will get closer to whatever goals they're achieving, but it looks like that goal really is to make it into that championship round. A win would help either side. A draw might not really help either side at the same time, but there is a lot on the line for this match. And it's a match also that when it was played in the first round, very heated affair. It ended 2-1 in favor of Aguilas, but it was a very scrappy game. It was very close. It could have gone either way, but it went the way of Aguilas last time around. But moving on to Maharlika FC, 5 points behind Stallion with the game more played. So that puts them in a bit of a tight spot when trying to chase for that top 6 finish.
Especially since there are, keep in mind, 20 games across both opening rounds. Maharlika's already at 17. They only pretty much have 3 games left to go. They have to nail every single game they have moving forward, because even a result such as a draw could potentially knock them out of making it into the championship round.
So they have to be absolutely perfect for the rest of the second round. And even then, that might not be enough if the results of Stallion and Aguilas don't go their way. And yeah, that's really been their season so far. They had a really good round 1, which ended with them in the top 6. But come the new year and come the rest of 2026, they haven't had the best results. Their most concerning result was probably that 1-1 draw against Philippine Army, which really hampered them.
They were completely out of sorts in that game. They were not playing their style of football, because Coach Moon Hong, he likes to implement a style of play that allows him to pass and play out of any sort of press, especially in a league that features Kaya and Manila Digger. But it just hasn't been working so far.
Here is their starting 11. A lot of the usual suspects. No Ibrahim, however, he's with the Eurasian national team. Congratulations to him. But it is strong enough for them to at least mount a good match this evening. You can see players here that have so much PFL experience and also a good mix of new signings, foreign signings, in particular South Korean players that have come in to this Maharlika team alongside their head coach Moon Hong, who really has been a difference this season. You know, you look at Maharlika's past seasons in the PFL, they were never a team that was trying to chase that, top area of the league table. But this season, they've had some growing pains, but it's an improvement already on what they've been in the past few years.
And just going back to Moon Hong really quickly, he already is Maharlika's most successful ever coach. So
right,
even though this season hasn't gone exactly to plan, he's already taken them so far, and the potential to go even further is there. They just have to make sure everything works perfectly.
Moving on to our player to watch, we had many options for this one, but we have gone with Yunsu Park, who is back after a head injury he sustained against Don Bosco Guerrilla United. He's our player to watch because he has a busy night in front of him, because he will be playing, it looks like, either as a defender or, if I'm going to check my drawing correctly, in the midfield. And that's a very crucial midfield battle that Maharlika need to win. Scored against Aguilas in the first round, but also came away from that match scoring an own goal. So he will definitely want to redeem that own goal from the round 1 encounter. And a lot of the good things that Maharlika do go through him.
And Yunsu Park, he's such a perfect player for Moon Hong's system because he's so versatile. He can go ahead and anchor up the defense, and he can also go ahead and contribute in the playmaking efforts in the midfield and on the forward line.
Speaking of Coach Moon Hong, let's now hear from him.
Aguilas has really tough games recently, and they've been losing the games. And I think they will be looking for a win today. And I think if we can manage to use our energy and fight and get a win, I think we can actually make the top six. And I truly believe in my players that we can do it. But we have to win this one to make sure we get it. So we're going to fight until the end of the whistle. And I don't know what the score will be, but there will be a lot of the goals and a lot of the fight. And please support Maharlika all the way and watch us make the top six. Thank you.
Coach Moonhong still believes that Maharlika are good enough and will finish in that top six. Aguilas Umak FC, it's up to them to change that narrative up. Now, speaking on Aguilas Umak FC, you heard Coach Moonhong mention it. They've been on a losing run, but they still have a lot of quality players, and the control is in their hands to finish in that top six.
And Aguilas, he's right, absolutely right. That they've been on a downward turn. So Moon Hong, he set his team up as sharks. They smell blood in the water. They want to take this opportunity now to prevent Aguilas from getting any more points while they themselves inch closer to get back into that championship round. It really just circles back into making the most of the opportunity that's right in front of them. They have an opponent that's been beaten down recently. They just want to go ahead and contribute to that downward slide.
Two losses in a few days for Aguilas Umak FC. A 1-0 loss against Dynamic Herb Cebu, and a 3-1 loss to Manila Digger. Two matches they could have walked away with at least a point from, because they led against Digger and they could have scored a penalty that was eventually missed against Cebu. So that's the story of Aguilas in the recent weeks. And yeah, they are not on the best form, but still they have the quality to at least get 3 points tonight.
That's
Looking at their starting 11, you can see slightly rotated actually from the goal itself. Iko Mangawang given a start. You also see no Villarreal, no top scorer as well in Isa Diallo. So it's a slightly rotated team, but Coach Bing will of course trust the 11 that's on tonight.
It's an interesting rotation here by Coach Colina, especially because you really shouldn't be taking Maharlika for granted. That goes without saying. They're a very hungry team. You want to bring your best to beat them. So I'm not quite sure what the game plan is here, but he is, of course, welcome to surprise us. I do see here that Isa Diallo and Ibrahim Adamu, the top two scorers for Aguilas, are currently on the bench, but Colina still has picked a very, very capable starting 11.
Moving on to our player to watch for Aguilas, we have gone with number 33, JV Kalukaran. Used to play for Stallion, is now back with Aguilas Umak FC as their starting left back. You do imagine that if they're going to keep a tight defense, a lot of that will be down to how good he performs tonight.
And JV Kalukaran, he's another one of those versatile players. We've seen it earlier this season with Stallion, and of course we've seen it in his recent games with Aguilas. He's a box-to-box wingback, if that makes sense. He can do so much on both ends of the pitch, and he's for sure going to look to be that dynamo in the wings tonight.
Now let's hear from Coach Bing of Aguilas.
We prepared this game very hard, and we hope that we can get this win today. And expectation for the game tonight, I think we have a good battle against Maharlika. Maharlika is also a strong team, and there are a lot of foreign players also are quality players. So we'll try our best to win the game.
Coach Bing and Coach Moon of Maharlika, both up for this. So you'd imagine that this match, a lot on the line, and both of these teams will be in for a real feisty fight.
That's because both of them know exactly what's at stake here. It's the chance to either make it back to the championship round, and for Maharlika and for Aguilas, it's to stay in that championship round and, of course, build momentum if they do stay in that round or in the championship bracket, to just take it to the teams that are above them and just really build momentum from here on out.
It'll be interesting to see how fast this match starts, because there's so much on the line. Don't be surprised as well if that adrenaline and that energy, makes it a bit of a nervous start. Or you can turn that around. Don't be surprised as well if this match goes 100 miles an hour from kickoff.
And like you said earlier, in their first meeting this season, it was a very, very feisty affair. It could have gone either way. Maharlika, for sure, they will rue those chances because they felt that it was winnable for them. So perhaps they've learned some lessons from that game, want to tweak it a bit here tonight to finally get those 3 points against a team in the top 6.
Now we'll take it to the pitch for our pre-match ceremonies.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Maharlika Football Club and Aguilas Umak Football Club.
Another look at your starting 11 for Maharlika FC as we approach kickoff. Again, a lot of onus is on them to pull themselves back into that top 6, which they were in, but fell out of over the recent weeks.
No more room for error here for Maharlika. They have to nail every single game they have here moving forward, especially starting tonight against a very game Aguilas Umak, who is not intent on letting go of their top 6 position now.
Thing is as well, Maharlika will know that in so many of their matches against big teams, they performed well and probably deserved a bit more points compared to what they actually got. Meanwhile, for Aguilas, on a downward turn, but they've had a good 2026 in general, getting a lot of points. They will want to make sure they get back to winning ways. As we look at the refereeing team for this evening, main referee, I see Raymart De Los Santos assisted by Segundo Saluria III alongside Ryan Flores. Fourth official is Jesus Abogado. Our referee assessor is Alan Martinez, and match commissioner is Miss Ira Ilan. So there's a lot on the line. The two team captains here leading their teams, and they'll be hoping to lead their teams towards 3 points. That's Jorel Aristarenas and David Kum, 2 midfielders and 2 captains.
Jorel Aristarenas, he himself is another one of those versatile players that fits Coach Moon's formation perfectly. He's also their top scorer with 4 goals.
Another look at the Aguilas lineup as well. Again, a bit rotated, but they did play against Manila Digger, then Cebu in a few days. So you do wonder if there are some tired legs in that squad. However, there is still enough quality in this lineup for them to get all 3 points tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen when the match starts. And, of course, a lot of options on the bench for both coaches.
Yes, take a look at that sub list for both teams. Very, very capable game changers on either side. They have very good squad building abilities, which is why, even though they need to replace a man or take a man off, the quality for each team on that pitch will not drop.
Moments away from kickoff. Both teams just giving their final words to each other before what is sure to be a really important and really feisty affair. Maharlika in their blue jerseys kicking from left to right. Aguilas Umak FC going the other way in their all-white jerseys.
Big fight feel here tonight. Sugod versus Sulong. Who is going to go ahead and take those 3 points home?
Referee Raymart De Los Santos is going to blow the kickoff whistle. First possession to Maharlika, and they're going to look to go long right away. Here's Kalukaran, who wins the throw-in. He's going to be up against Cho this evening. That's going to be a key battle as well.
already from the first kickoff, everything's going at 100 miles an hour. You love to see it as a neutral, of course, but if you're a fan of either one of these teams, you have to be a little nervous on if tonight's result is going to go your way.
No Adamu and no Issa Diallo for Aguilas. Starting up front is Jibrila, who scored against both Army and Manila Digger in the recent weeks. Here come Maharlika though, down their left-hand side. Cross into a dangerous area. Cho! Excellent block.
Crunching tackle there. I think that was Julian Coombe, the captain for Aguilas, who made that interception. It looks like it really took a toll on Cho. He's still down.
2 players down actually for both teams. I actually think it was Richard Tate, I'll confirm that in a bit, who got that block. But Cho has hit the deck, and so has a midfielder from Aguilas. It looks like number 13, that's Cart Talarok. And no surprise how fast this match has started. A bit concerning actually is that there may have been 2 injuries from that fast start. There's a look at Coach Moon Hong, who has made a difference to Maharlika in his short but so far productive tenure.
Well, it's only been 1 minute into the game. We were expecting a feisty affair, but we certainly did not expect to have 2 players down in the first minute. One of them, Cho, he got hit harder than the other, and he looks like he's about to walk it off, which is a good sight to see. But still, if this is what we have in the first minute, what more can we expect from the rest of the game?
It was a half chance for Maharlika to test Iko Mangawang. The shot was blocked at its source. But there was a moment where he just opened up for Cho. But it was a good block from Richard Tate. Here's Kalokaran down the left-hand side, unmarked because Cho is still up the pitch. Early cross is cut out by Enzo Lucindo. Jibrila will try for the second ball. It drops to Aguilas. Here is Kalokaran. Here's Coombe. Wants to redeem himself for sure after that missed penalty at Cebu. Diagonal from Richard Tate is successful. Great touch. Great cross. Lucindo with the clearance. But Richard Tate, who's usually a midfielder, playing as a center back for this night, but he showed the passing range of a midfielder there, and that was, as you said, a very clever ball.
It's a very clever ball, and you can see what the game plan Aguilas is trying to do. They're trying to stretch Maharlika's defense by trying to play the ball centrally. And when they have Maharlika where they want them, they're going to ping the ball over to Kalokaran, who is right now unmarked on the left side of the pitch. So could be a very, very integral role here by JV Kalokaran.
Excellent distribution from Iko Mangawang in goal in place of Shiraoka this evening. De Paula, back heel, Palpalatok!
Skied it over the bar, but what a chance that was. You can see the creativity flowing here tonight.
Palpalatok made the long busting run up from right back, and he found himself on the end of that move, but he couldn't get it on target. Good chemistry on show though, on the right-hand side for Aguilas. That all started from Iko Mangawang's distribution.
So perhaps it was a great call by Coach Kalina to give Iko Mangawang the start. He does have fantastic distribution abilities in his locker. That could be key to unlocking Maharlika's defense.
Feisty affair here between 2 players on both teams. It's going to go the way of Maharlika. Foul by David Coombe on, it looks like that was Brimsok Kang. He's a left-footed right back, but he tends to make use of his technical ability.
I gotta tell you, Diego, I love what I'm seeing here. We are only 4 minutes in. Everyone's fighting for every inch of space on the pitch here tonight. It just makes you wonder, what else do these two have in store for each other?
Palpalatok goes direct, looking for Jibrila. No offside flag, but Kenry Balobo, not the tallest goalkeeper, but showing that he makes up for it with mobility.
And how about Aguilas' passing range today? They've been making so many accurate long balls over Maharlika's defense. It's been working like a charm. They haven't been able to make the final connection yet, but if they keep this up, that could easily be a goal in their favor.
Foul there. Called against Aguilas. That was Seth Ganyas, who was adjudged to have been illegally fouling his opponent. Attack will start for Maharlika from all the way back. Kenry Balobo with his foot on the ball. not afraid to play out from the back. It doesn't always pay off, but it's that risk and reward. If it does pay off, then you have an overload in your final third. If it doesn't pay off, you might be a bit light at the back.
Exactly. And the thing about Maharlika is that this entire season, they have lived and died by this way of playing. They have stuck to their guns, and they are confident in their passing abilities. It's cost them so many results this season, but it's also worked in their favor just as much.
More good distribution from former Lasal goalkeeper Iko Mangawang straight to Caloocaran. Here's Peña, one of their new signings. Tackled by Ristorenas, two former Stallion players actually. Great roulette from Peña. Referee played advantage initially but went back for the foul on Peña. Great turn from the midfielder.
Everybody's going at it. That midfield battle is intense. Everybody in that entire midfield is just either going straight for the ball, making clever passes, or in this case, if you're Jax Peña, trying to go for that roulette. It nearly worked there, but he got tripped in the end.
It's going to be a first free kick opportunity for Aguilas. Peña winning this free kick, and it will be Kurt Talarok to try and find an aerial target. High line from Maharlika also. Everyone with their foot on the penalty line.
Indeed, that is Maharlika's patented high line. They love to be able to beat you with the offside trap and also kickstart an immediate counter-attack.
Aerial targets have gone up for this attacking set piece. Cartalarok with the direct pass. First big chance of the night. Goes the way of Aguilas. Couldn't get it on target. It looks like our Richard Tete with that header. And went just wide.
Now, this is going to be a bit of a concern here for Maharlika because Aguilas, they've started the game with such pinpoint accuracy in their passes. So when they're playing so confidently in that type of style, you really shouldn't give them these opportunities from set pieces.
So many 50-50 duels in the midfield. Mike Menzi going full throttle. A player with the most minutes for Maharlika. Here's Ganyas though, up against Park. And Park wins out this time. He's going to win a foul as well. Feisty.
It's completely feisty. Everybody is giving their 100% effort, and this is exactly the type of match neutrals and fans alike would love to see out of these two teams.
The body feint from Bum Sok Kang. Again, a right back who's left-footed, so he tends to go into midfield a lot. Yunso Park, by the way, is usually the left back of the team. He's playing as one of their defensive midfielders for this evening. So you have that triangle of South Korean players on the right-hand side. Here's one of them. Attempted Trivela, looking for Miyagi, was unsuccessful. And Mangawang's gonna clear this. Safety first.
You can see Maharlika, they're trying to play that tiki-taka style of football. They haven't been able to connect in some of them here, but once they go ahead and get that going, they're very, very dangerous on the counter.
Byum Sukang with a pocket of space. Early cross. Great defensive work from Palpalatok, who is the player also from Aguilas with the most minutes amongst their entire squad. And that's another piece of evidence as to why. The risk for Aguilas might be that in your center-back pairing, not too sure if it's a center-back pairing that's been played together as much as compared to the center-back pairing of Lucindo and Mike Menzi.
Typically, your starting center-back pair, or the most used center-back pair for Maharlika, is Mike Menzi alongside Kalen McLeod. But of course, Enzo Lucindo is very capable in his own right. We have a player down here for the Aguilas. It's Captain David Coombe. Looks like he's taken a hard hit, but he's able to walk it off here. Still, a hit on your ankles is not a comfortable thing to experience.
Still no cards, but there have been already quite a number of fouls issued by referee Raymart De Los Santos.
And we're not even 10 minutes into the game. High speed gameplay here.
Richard Tete stepping into midfield. Palpalatok. Attack down the right-hand side for Aguilas hasn't paid off. Throw in favor of Maharlika. The result, by the way, at Cebu has finished. So the final score was 4-2 in favor of Cebu. But Don Bosco gave a good account of themselves, especially in that first half.
Just a quick shout out to Don Bosco, of course. Like, despite where they stand on the table, they've been putting up a string of good performances.
Offside there, called against Gibrilla. And there you have it. It's that high line from Maharlika. It's always Mike Menzi telling his fellow defenders to step up to try and catch his opponent's offside.
And that kind of attitude is exactly why he's one of the club's captains. He's a complete warrior through and through, just really demands the best out of his teammates.
Mike Menzi has bounced around quite a number of clubs in the PFL, but has found a home with Maharlika. Here they come down the left-hand side looking for Cho. Kalukaran shielding the ball, and Mangawang able to claim that there was also a foul called against Cho. I think he collided with Mangawang, who's not the out-and-out number one, but one or two moments from Mangawang that showed good goalkeeping.
And you gotta love Cho's energy here today. He's not the fastest guy on the pitch, but he will absolutely give his 100% effort to try to beat his man and get to the ball, like the long ball his teammates have played for him.
Maharlika's front line typically rotated. We also don't have Ibrahim tonight. He's with the Eritrean national team. Nice to see them back active after a really long spell inactive. Nearly a moment of miscommunication there between the center-back pairing of Aguilas. They go back to Mangawang for safety. And by the way, it's nice to see another player jump from UAAP to the PFL and make that jump successfully.
I do hope that it sets a trend moving forward, that UAAP players can see the PFL as a viable option to go pro and, of course, showcase their abilities on a more competitive scene. Take a look at guys like Jerome Abarca for Garelli, and, of course, Christian Tambilawan of Tuloy. Of course, suffered an injury in their previous game. Of course, our prayers are with him, but he will definitely come back stronger, that's for sure.
It's a trend that has become more and more used, and we love to see it. Another throw-in for Aguilas. Kalukaran has been going up and down that left-hand side, energetic as ever. Still only, I believe, 25 years old, so he still has a lot of years in front of him.
A lot of gas left in that tank, and he's using every bit of effort he has here tonight to go ahead and try to secure massive points for his team.
De Paula trying to combine with Cartalarok, who wins it back. Palpalatok, early cross, a bit deep, out for a goal kick. The two fullbacks of Aguilas not afraid to venture forward whenever they can.
You could say it's a bit of a fullback battle here between both sides. On one side for Aguilas, you got JV Kalukaran and, of course, Brian Palpalatok. And for Maharlika, you have Yunsu Park. So very, very interesting dynamics on both wings here.
It's going to be a goal kick from Maharlika. They're not afraid to do the goal kick trend of passing it to the goalkeeper first thing and try and start there. Aristarenas applying pressure, so they win it back. It's going to fall to Aristarenas. They have numbers on this attack. Palpalatok not able to get back. Crossing opportunity for Maharlika. Good hands from Iko Mangawang.
He's been very, very solid here today. Pinpoint with his passes, safe with his hands, a very reliable option. And I dare say he's making his case to be the club's number one moving forward.
Iko Mangawang, another one of those young players that Aguilas have. They are actually second to Tuloy in terms of average age for the youngest team in the PFL. Very young squad. Iko Mangawang, one of many young players in that team. But he's showing that he is making a good case, as you said. Cartalarok goes down, doesn't win with a free kick, but it looks like it's going to be a corner kick. It's going to be Cartalarok who won the corner kick to take it. Left-footed in-swinger. Looking for his tall targets in the penalty box. He has an option for short. Kalukaran has gone close to him. It goes into the box. Straight clearance from Bumsub Park. It's going to be another corner kick.
And just take a look at how Aguilas is setting up for that corner. They got plenty of options in the box, but they also have Ganyas there at the outside of the box, just right in front of goal. And they have Kum coming in short as a short passing option. So very versatile options here from the corner, looking to do as much damage as possible.
Before this corner is going to be taken, though, there was a little bit of extracurriculars from De Paula and Cho. Referee just giving them a stern talking to before he allows play to continue. Corner sent in to a dangerous area, but it was met by a blue shirt. Ganyas. Mike Menzi with the tight defensive work. Here's De Paula. The Brazilian trying to work across. He does. Good hands from Kenry Balobo.
You love to see it. Kenry Balobo always ready. His head is on a swivel. Knows when to come out to collect that ball. One of the most reliable keepers in the league. Another outstanding performance for him so far.
Jinyon Kim trying to find Aristorenos in behind. It was a good interception from Richard Tete. Very fast action here. And the first 16 minutes have absolutely flown by. No goal just yet, though. Once again, Diego Cordero and Ed calling this one for you.
Everything's been being played at 100 miles an hour. If we take a close look at the players there in the field, they are drenched in sweat. And we are barely 20 minutes into the game. That just shows how badly they want this result. Neither side is here to settle for a draw. That is for sure.
Here's Coom down the right-hand side. Good cross. Diving header from Mike Menzi. It's a foul in favor of Maharlika as well. So if you're both coaches, signs to be happy and signs for improvement. Very, very 50-50 affair.
It's very even here, but I think from what I've seen so far, Aguilas has enjoyed a bit more of the ball. They have been stringing together very accurate passes. For Maharlika's side, the counter-attacking plays are there. They know how to break away with the ball. They just need to connect on some of these short passes because they've given up possession with a few misplaced passes here and there.
Biggest chance of the match so far was a set piece that Richard Tete found himself on the end on. Couldn't direct it goalwards, but that was the closest we've had to a goal so far. Here's De Paula playing as the halfback. Splitting the two center backs. Here's Coom. Kalukaran an option. Very deep now for Maharlika. No foul on Aristorenas. Aguilas just dominating possession in this spell. Kalukaran, the ball in behind the zone. It's cut out by Lucindo. De Paula went in for a 50-50 duel, hit the deck. He's asking for the game to be stopped.
Brave clearance attempt there by De Paula. Just gave his ankle away on that one. But you could argue that there was no need to go in that hard for a potential interception. It doesn't look too serious right now, but you really can't be that reckless going into plays like that.
Cho Woyuk of Maharlika is asking also for some magic spray on his ankle. He did go down in the second minute. So do keep an eye on that. And again, we're going to see it again. That goal kick setup from Maharlika. Not afraid to start really deep. Aguilas naman, on the other hand, not afraid to press high. So it's that chess match of sorts. And that's nearly a freak goal. Mike Menzi going long, De Paula with the block, and it bounced goalwards.
That could have been absolutely disastrous for Maharlika. And that's exactly why you really cannot be sleeping at the wheel here if you're Kenry Balobo. Anything can happen, including a blocked pass like that heading towards your goal, with some speed on it too.
It's their philosophy of playing out from the back no matter what. It's going to pay off nearly here, but Peña able to get a toe in. Here's Coom. That's the risk. If you lose the ball in your defensive third, it's a dangerous position.
You can see Coach Moon shaking his head there a little when they gave away the ball, but he is confident in his players to break away here. Chance now for Maharlika, looking very dangerous for them so far.
Aristorenas. Palpalatok.
Oh, that is a workhorse's clearance right there. Good on you, Brian Palpalato.
You could see he had nothing else on his mind but to get as much power behind that clearance as possible.
He just wanted to get that ball out of his half. He did not want it there.
And that type of attitude is why Palpalatok has gotten 1,153 minutes so far. He's been a constant in that team that has had multiple coaches already this season. Started with Coach Jorg, then you had Coach Muescan, and now you have Coach Bing. But so far, Palpalatok seemingly able to stay in that starting 11.
And keep in mind, Brian Palpalatok was brought into the PFL with Maharlika last season. He was able to show what he can do, and of course that impressed the management over at Aguilas. And what a job he's done for them so far. Definitely one of the underrated players of the season.
There's a ball in behind open for Cho, but it was never played. And Aguilas win it back. Here's De Paula. Looking for Ganas.
Good idea there.
Good idea indeed. Idea was there, the execution just slightly off. Kenry Balobo able to get on the end of that. This time, no risk is going to be taken by Kenry Balobo, which might be a smart move given how the last times they tried to play out went. And he's going to go longer this time.
Aguilas are feeling especially adventurous in Maharlika's defensive half, so good idea to play it long this time instead of short, but I'm certain he's going to try that again.
David Kuhn with a foul on Byung-Suk Kang, who actually lost his shin guard there. It flew off, but good driving run from the right back. It's an obvious foul also.
Quite needless, I must say.
Excellent switch of play from Yunsu Park. Here's Jin-Yon Kim. Goes for the early cross. Mangawang with the punch. Cho was near him.
Mangawang
Anyas.
action yet again.
He's passed every test he's faced so far. So he really will be pressing for that number 1 spot against Shiraoka, who has been good himself for Aguilas.
Coach Moon throwing his hands in frustration. Felt that probably shouldn't have been a foul. But let's take a look at the replay here.
More feisty affairs between Cartalarok and Dina Barle.
Ah, tangled him up there. Can't argue with that one, I'm afraid.
Dina Barle, the left back for tonight, also does play in midfield from time to time. Another switch to Caloocaran. This time he couldn't control it the way he wanted to, but that switch has always been on this evening, and once again they have found it.
What an asset Caloocaran has been. You can see their style of play, switching the playmaking duties over to the wing, and if they need to play that way, it's Caloocaran who's been given the keys to that role. He's mishit the ball there, but 9 times out of 10, he's going to make better out of that possession.
Maharlika again playing out from the back. Can they play through the press this time? They are fouled in the process, or they're going to get a free kick. 23 minutes into this one, still scoreless. It's Diego Cordero alongside Ed calling this one for you. Our last match actually before an international break, where Philippine football fans will still be busy, because on Tuesday we have that Tajikistan away match, which is a do-or-die game, and a lot of fans will be tuning into that one. So much movement going on in the final third of Maharlika, but they go short again.
He's not on the camera right now, but take a look at Woo Yuk Cho. He's wide open on the right side of the pitch. If they can find a clever ball to him, they could be out and running away.
That switch of play has always been on for Maharlika. Like to keep one of their players super high and wide, so when the ball arrives to them, they have acres of space. Palpalatok with the throw-in. Looking for Jibrila. Will Jibrila keep this in? Goes out for a goal kick.
Fascinating observation here by Aguilas Umak. They don't have a set number 9. That's the one position in that team that they love to rotate, either out of tactical necessity or for fitness concerns. But what impresses me about it is that whoever they chuck up there at the number 9 spot They're very capable, like this one here. Aguilas with a very dangerous possession. Offside called by the linesman. So Maharlika got away with that one there. But that run by Julian Coombe, if he was able to just time it properly, they could be celebrating 1-0 here.
Actually, might be a corner kick from Maharlika. They took another risk there by playing out, and Aguilas were nearly able to pounce on that one.
Still so far in the 25 minutes of action, sorry. You can tell Aguilas has had the more productive outing so far. They just need to convert.
Corner from Cartalarok, this time with his right foot. Headed back into a dangerous area. Balobo came and didn't claim, but there was a foul amidst all the chaos. So it's a free kick to Maharlika. Cartalarok, by the way, taking corners with his left and right foot.
Definitely a rare feat for a player to be able to just take a corner with both feet. Because anybody who's played the sport knows sometimes your right foot or your dominant foot just can't hit as well as the other one.
And after another moment where they lost the ball playing out from the back, Kenry Balobo is going to opt to go longer and more direct to his forwards. Ball bouncing around both halves. Yumsuk Kang winning the throw-in. Referee's gonna have to stop the game a little bit. I did see that after a contested header, Peña just held his head a little bit. Of course, he can't take any risks with potential head injuries. He's gonna ask for a little bit of treatment.
And here it is now, member of Aguilas' medical staff checking in on Peña. And like you said, you really can't take these things for granted. If there is some discomfort after a header challenge like that, you need to get it looked at.
It's going to be a temporary water break for both sides. So Coach Moon Hong and Coach Bing of their respective sides have 30 seconds or so to reset and regroup with their starting 11s. Here was that headed collision. You just see Peña looked a little bit dazed from that one.
Peña is still out on the sidelines. Medical team is taking a good close look at him, taking no chances, also keeping him hydrated at the same time. So I think Aguilas is just going to be down a man here for now.
Last thing they would want is to concede chances while they're down a man. Clearance by Calocaran. Gibrilla fighting with Lucindo.
Effort play there, Braganjas. Instead of giving up on that ball, he went straight forward.
I think they're just trying to make this match as stop-start as possible right now while they're down to 10 men. Peña wants to get back on the pitch, but he still needs treatment from the medical team of Aguilas. He's ready now to return to the pitch.
And as such, look, if you take a look at Maharlika, they have an extra pep in their step. They know Aguilas is down a man, and they want to make full use of that opportunity while they still have it.
There you have it. Peña has been allowed back on the pitch, so it's 11 versus 11 once again. Here's Jinhyun Kim up against Palpalatok. Enzo Lucindo has to start the attack from the back. Yumsuk Kang going infield. More physicality between Coombe and Yunsu Park. Some gamesmanship from David Coombe, just not allowing the free kick to be taken quickly.
He's a true box-to-box warrior. He's definitely an acquired taste if you're playing against him, but he will give his 100% effort for the Aguilas, and that is admirable.
A few seconds now until we reach the 30th minute mark. Still goalless here. Aguilas with the slightly better chances. Maharlika with not as much joy yet in their final third. But it is still completely open. Jin Young Kim. Ebarle. You can just see there's no time for any midfielder on the ball. Byung-Suk Kang, onside, venturing into the penalty box. Can he work out a cross? Clipped in, met by Miyagi, off the woodwork.
Oh, what a chance that was. That was their best chance so far. Coach is smiling. He likes what he's seeing. Maharlika's turning it on now.
Miyagi did ever so well to generate a header from this angle. And it so unlucky for him, it bounces off the post. Mangawang was helpless had that been on target.
And what an angle that was, to attempt a header from that angle. My neck hurt just watching that. But it nearly went in, so props to you, King Miyagi. It really could have gone either way.
Byung-Suk Kang also did really well to generate a cross. And he's gonna go and walk over to the corner flag to take this one. The right back creating there. Has another chance to create here. Might this be one of the set plays that we often see from Maharlika? Straight from the training ground, or will it be a direct cross into the dangerous area? A lot of targets up there. And by Kang, nearly met by Menzi. It's back in, saved by Mangawang. Potential counter-attack here by David Coom. Aristorenas winning a throw-in.
Captain's effort there by Joel Aristorenas. He saw immediately Aguilas were running out of the block, trying to go for that counter, but who was the first man on the ball? It was Captain Joel Aristorenas.
Here was that chance. It was a bit messy, but the shot was generated, and it was a good block. Couldn't actually see who got the final block. It's Park Jae-yeon with the effort.
I believe on that play, it was a leg save by Iko Mangawang. If so, props to him for coming up and delivering when needed.
Maharlika with a good spell here. They've woken up now, and they're fully in this match. So both of these teams have now had two really good chances to take the lead. Cartalarok, Peña. Referee's gonna pull it back for a foul on Cartalarok. And this is gonna be the first yellow card of the match, to the dismay of Coach Moon Hong.
The Aguilas fans are loving that card. They're loving the action here so far. The pace has picked up. It's the 32nd minute. We're about to enter halftime. So, of course, both teams are going to be giving their all to try to go ahead and get that valuable goal before we head off into the half.
Here was that yellow card offense from Cho Woo-yuk. Very late from him.
Clear as day, clipped his ankles.
He is the first to enter the book of referee Raymart De Los Santos. And you also have to be careful now. One more foul could put you in some trouble. Maharlika have already gone down to 10 men this season. So have Aguilas. Komangawang is going to take this one long. Straight into the final third.
Decent ball, that one. Just didn't find anybody there.
Ball ping-ponging around. That's a foul against Aguilas. Coach Moon Hong wants a yellow card for Hiruta, who made that foul. And he's saying it was a high foot.
Coach Moon Hong, definitely one of the most animated figures in the Philippines Football League. He will let you know if he does not agree with your calls.
He's still making his case there in the bottom of your screen. That was a high foot. No card there though for Hiruta. It's Aguilas' turn, or rather Maharlika's turn to step up the pace. Mike Menzi has room to drive forward. But he's not going to find a teammate with that pass. Gibrilla onto that loose ball. Looking for Peña. Excellent tackle there. Looked like that was Jayon Park.
You could just see how each team is canceling each other out. They're trying to go for smart passes, smart 1-2s, but they've been shutting it down just like that one.
It was a giveaway for Maharlika. Here's De Paula. Ball still with Aguilas. He finds Ganas. Tracked very closely by Jin Yeon Kim. And good
Smart
footwork.
escape.
Great footwork from Aristorenas.
If there was one word to describe this game, it would definitely not be boring, that's for sure.
Aristorenas there with the good footwork. Moments after he gave the ball away. So many challenges flying in. De Paula taken down, no foul called. Throw in to Maharlika. Maharlika just enjoying a bit more possession in the recent spell. This might be a giveaway though. Straight to Cartalarok. Boom. Peña's gonna slow it down. Hiruta. They could just do with a spell of possession because for the last few minutes it has been with Maharlika. Aguilas not afraid to slow it down for now. That won't help. After getting possession for the first time in a long spell, it's given away. Throw in to Maharlika. See Coach Moon Hong so animated, barking out instructions for the South Korean contingent in Maharlika. Yum Suk Kang asking for support from Cho. Goes infield instead. Going for the ball in behind, looking for Miyagi, who is deemed offside by the assistant referee.
Good execution there on that play. You could see what they were trying to do. And the emotions are flying high here now. It was only a matter of time before we got something like this. Tempers are flaring out here.
Miyagi hearing some words from the referee, as is Richard Tete. No punishment for either party, so the referee's gonna allow the game to continue. Here's what happened. It was offside, so nothing Miyagi would have done would have counted. It's a bit of afters, actually.
Well, these are two highly competitive individuals, so they're going to try to go for the heat of the moment. If they feel slighted, of course, they're going to react to it. But hopefully not to the point where they're going to be sent off.
It's Richard Tete. Through ball, looking for Peña. No offside flag.
What a tackle.
Still Peña. And still Peña.
What a save. What a play that was by Aguilas.
Well, after remaining defensively compact for majority of this half, Aguilas sliced through Maharlika here. Look how easily they found Peña.
Like a knife through butter. That was Richard Tete's pass that completely bypassed the entire Maharlika defense. The chance was right there. Probably could have done a bit better there. But still, what a play by the Aguilas.
Also a crucial block from Mike Menzi to stop that initial cross. And the following shot was saved by Baloba. That's an obvious offside for Jibrila. Another example of a high line and offside trap set by Maharlika.
So one of the most beautiful plays in football, a perfectly placed through ball. Doesn't get much better than that.
Again, both of these teams have had the openings. Maharlika came the closest when Miyagi's header hit the post earlier on in this half. Balobo. Pass straight into midfield is risky. Pays off just about.
A bit too lax there for Kenry Balobo. Of course, he He's confident in his teammates' ability to go ahead and receive that ball. But of course, he wanted in a bit more comfortable circumstances than that.
Ball looking for Byum Kang. Good header by Caloocaran. And Hiruta is not going to take any risk. Ball eventually finds itself back with Kenry Balobo. 5 minutes to go until halftime. Still scoreless, but it has been action-packed.
You can see Mike Menzi on offense. So actually both center backs for Maharlika, Lucindo and Menzi, they like to play wide when it's their turn to play the ball out of defense. Perhaps in an attempt to stretch Aguilas' forward press.
Gone are the days of center backs simply hoofing it long. Modern coaches like Coach Moon Hong really want their center backs to be a part of the attack, a part of the build-up play. Ball ping-ponging once again. Here's Koom. Gibrilla goes back to Caloocaran, who's gonna drive forward. Cartalarok guarded closely by Byum Kang. Here's Caloocaran. Ball stays in play.
It stayed in play. He had an ID there, but just didn't execute it that perfectly. But still, fantastic wing play attempt by the Aguilas.
Good adjustment also from Coach Moon Hong, because in the earlier part of the first half, it felt like Caloocaran always had space to run into. This time, he is being tracked closer by Cho and by Byum Kang. That was a trend that needed to stop if you're Maharlika, because Caloocaran was running up and down that left-hand side. Lucindo, Chowoyok, guarded closely by Cartalarok. In by Lucindo. Headed away by Tete. High press by Aguilas means that Maharlika gonna go back once again to Kenry Balobo. Entry pass into Yunsu Park. Great build-up play by Maharlika. And the times that it does pay off, you can see how effective it is. Diagonal to Chowoyok.
How about that ball?
Oof.
Nasty hit here. Could be bad. He's holding on to that ankle. That is Byum Kang on the ground.
Byum Kang did really well to get to that ball first before his defender Caloocaran, and Caloocaran is simply late. Tough one. Might be a sore one. Byum Kang.
You could feel it from here. Anybody who's been chopped at the ankles will know that feeling. Not a pretty one.
Free kick opportunity now for Maharlika. Byum Kang looks okay after that tackle, so he's gonna take this free kick. Left-footed in swinging delivery. This would be a really ideal time to go ahead if you're either side, and it's Maharlika with the chance. Just a minute and a half till the halftime, plus stoppage time, of course.
From this range and this angle too, Byum Kang has a very good left foot. He can very well find a pass that will unlock this Aguilas defense and finally break the deadlock on this game.
Aguilas have to be careful, as does Iko Mangawang, who has been good in this first half so far. Might be tested yet again here. Delivery is gonna come in from Byum Kang. In towards the penalty box. First contact from Aguilas, but the shot comes in. Another save by Mangawang, and the follow-up to Mike Menzi wins the penalty right before halftime. Spot kick for Maharlika, and Mike Menzi might need a little bit of treatment as well, because he went for that diving header and he might have gotten clipped at the same time.
So many things happened in just a minute there. We had a fantastic reflex save by Iko Mangawang, and now take a look at the replay here. A penalty, I believe. And like you said, I believe it was Mike Menzi who was clipped. See the block there?
Yeah.
Oh, that is not pretty. He might have been kicked in the head. Let's take another look at that here.
Just
There's the shot. That's a save. Oh, that's kick. He got kicked in the face. That was straight in the face.
It was Richard Tete with the foul, and Mike Menzi, by the way, back up on his feet, so he looks okay. Has to step off the pitch though. But this is a huge chance for Maharlika.
What a warrior Menzi is. To just eat a foot to the face and still walk it off like it was nothing. Of course, it would be best to go ahead and get that looked at, but still, props to Mike Menzi. What a tough cookie this guy is.
And Nico Mangawang made the save. Has to make another from the penalty spot. Incredible how a penalty came from that loose ball. It was just a loose ball, and it was just two players that went for it. And Mike Menzi got to it first with his head. Cho Wo-yuk is going to step up for his team. Can he convert? Can he give his team the lead in the most ideal time possible in the first half? Or will Iko Mangawang stand his ground as he has done so many times in this first half?
We've been praising Iko Mangawang this entire game, always delivering when needed. Can he deliver here? Let's go ahead and find out now.
Cho Wo-yuk versus Iko Mangawang. Mind games for sure. Who is going to win the psychological warfare? Cho Wo-yuk. Can he give his team the lead right before halftime? And it's an excellent penalty. Sends Mangawang the wrong way. And right before halftime, on the cusp of halftime, 1-0 in favor of Maharlika.
And this is the ideal moment to score your first goal of the game right before halftime, because that's going to give you all the momentum you need to go ahead and take control of the second half. Aguilas, they're going to use this time to recover and try to restore parity heading into the second half. But what a penalty that was by Wo-yuk Cho. Very well taken.
There was a small stutter in his lineup that just threw Mangawang off. You could see Mangawang stepped ever so slightly to his right. Cho Wo-yuk went the other way.
And you could see Mangawang's reaction when that ball went in. He's so frustrated with himself. And I don't blame him. He's been doing so well so far tonight.
He also made that save right before the penalty was called. If there was a player who didn't deserve to be behind, it was Mangawang. Kartalarok didn't take a deflection of a Maharlika player. We're not going to find out because referee Raymar De Los Santos is going to call for halftime. 1-0 in favor of Maharlika over Aguilas. A penalty from Cho Wo-yuk. Action-packed first half, Ed.
Amazing, amazing. 100 miles per hour. This halftime is going to allow every single one of us to breathe and just process exactly what's going on here. But wow, what a game so far.
Don't go anywhere for the second half, which will kick off shortly. Very action-packed first half. Currently going the way of Maharlika. 1-0 over Aguilas Umak FC. A penalty in the last minute of the first half from Cho Wo-yuk after Mike Menzi was clipped in the penalty box. What have you made of that action-packed first half, Ed?
Well, it was neck and neck throughout the whole 45 minutes. It seemed that just nobody was able to break the deadlock until we had that incident to end the first half of a clear penalty by Cho Wo-yuk, which he was able to convert and now lead the game 1-0. So you have to wonder, what can Aguilas do to go ahead and get back into the game? Because everything's been so neck and neck so far. What can they do to break that deadlock on their end?
It's a match which both teams really should win if they want to reach the places that they want to reach in the league table. But if it stays this way, then it would mean that Maharlika would pull themselves back into that fold of the top 6 battle. Still 45 minutes to go though. Maharlika have been in front 10 times this whole season, but they've only won 7 of those matches. Now that's a good statistic if you didn't also have to chase so many teams going forward. So they need to hold on, and they need to make the 3 points count. Because they've been in this position before, they've led matches before, but they haven't won all of those matches.
Right, you are. I just remember games such as Manila Digger, if you remember that. They opened the score courtesy of Chimo Zoka. They were able to lead that game, but end up losing that game 3-2. They do not want something like that happening here tonight. These are these games where you have to convert the leads that you have. There is no other backup. You have to win this game.
No surprise as well from Aguilas Umak FC that we're going to see, I think, 2 substitutions being readied. One of them is, I believe, top scorer Isa Diallo. The other is number 10, Nano Mita. So you have 2 of your key players checking back in for this second half. But if you saw the first half, here are the stats that tell the story. Very, very even first half.
These stats right here are the epitome of a very even-sided game. 52% possession to 48, favoring Maharlika. But take a look at the shots and the shots on target. 8 and 6 compared to 6 and 3. Relatively within the same range. So the offense is there for both of these sides. One of them just has been able to convert. And you mentioned Nano Amita's coming into the game. I'm not sure if he's going to be at 100% condition because at the warm-ups, I did see him wear a brace on his knee. So maybe we're not going to get the best out of him, but let's see what he can do to contribute to his team's efforts in getting back into the lead.
Confirmation now of those 2 substitutions. We're going to see who checked out for Aguilas, but it's a clear indication from Coach Bing that he wants something to change right after halftime. De Paula is going to check off, as is number 20, Ganas. So 2 subs right away after going behind.
Interesting to see what Ismaila Diallo can do in this game. He is his club's top scorer. He's a very pacey player with very good goal poacher instincts. He knows how to get into the right space at the right time. Perhaps he's going to be useful in those scrambles in the opposition box when it's time to tap in a ball into where it's supposed to be. Who knows? We have 45 minutes to find out. Can Maharlika hold on to this lead, or can Aguilas turn it around?
Nano Amita is going to take the captain's armband right after coming on. So it's he and Isa Diallo who have been entrusted to be the game changers. They played that first half with a strikerless system. There's a pure out-and-out number 9 now on the pitch for Aguilas.
Speaking of strikerless systems, it just so happens that the 2 teams that we have here employ strikerless systems. Neither of them have a set number 9.
Here comes Chowoyuk, the goal scorer, tackled by Peña. His penalty, the difference as things stand. Maharlika need all 3 points to keep their top 6 aspirations alive. Aguilas, the same for them, but they are above them in the table, so rather a win would actually help them cement that top 6 instead of helping them get back up into the top 6. A lot on the line in these 45 minutes. Excellent clearance by Mike Menzi. Has a different test now with Isa Diallo on the pitch.
Clever escape there by Jin Young Kim. What a ball that is. Chance! And completely missed. What an opportunity that was to double the lead. Kintaro Miyagi.
Very nearly a goal right before halftime and a goal right after. Excellent pass in behind from Jin Young Kim. And Miyagi, if he gets that on target, it's a goal, but it was a hard angle. You could see how disappointed he was though. Massive chance while Aguilas were still asleep.
That now makes it 2 chances a begging for Kintaro Miyagi. In the first half, he had that header bounce off the crossbar. Now he had a clear chance, miss the crossbar entirely, went out of the field. But for sure, he's going to want to try again. That's the kind of player he is.
Let off for Aguilas. They need to switch on for the rest of this match if they want to fight back into this match. Ball in behind, looking for Isa Diallo. You could see the physical nature he brings, but Mike Menzi once again showing his wisdom at the back for Maharlika.
Mike Menzi is the only player in the league to take a foot to the face and still fight like he does here now.
There you see another one of his diving headers. Same type of diving header which won that penalty. And it looks like it's unscarred.
Whoa.
He brings down Diallo there though, and that's a foul. And I'd imagine there might be some punishment for this one as well. And the referee, but you can see Isa Diallo is a different type of test for Mike Menzi and for Enzo Lucindo.
Mike Menzi choosing to be a bit more physical. Let's take a look at the replay here. Clearly pulled down. I'm surprised that he was given a let-off there. Bit of a slap on the wrist. Thought for sure there would be a bit more punishment heading his way.
Free kick though for Aguilas. It'll be Peña or Cartalarok to step up for this one. Cartalarok providing the option. Peña into the penalty box. It drops to Diallo. Oh, let off for Maharlika. Could have been 1-1.
He's gonna regret that one once the full-time whistle blows. If this game does not end up in Aguilas' favor, those are the types of chances that you will come to regret.
Might be a case of he hasn't warmed up to the match just yet. Only has just come on. But he has already gotten involved multiple times in the second half with that chance and also trying to trouble the center-back duo of Maharlika.
Issa Diallo, I think he is the ideal substitute to bring on these situations. He himself is very physical, so he might just have to build to combat the likes of Lucindo and Menzi.
Gibrilla going for that very, very tight angle volley. But the intensity has been picked up for Aguilas. It was Brian Palpalatok with the long throw.
And Brian Palpalatok, might I add, he has cannons for arms. He can throw in a very good throw-in.
Aguilas, if they want to get back into this match, they're going to need to do something they've done 42 times this season, which is score a goal. They've got 10 goals from both their defense and midfield, but from their attack, they have 28 goals. So they'll be relying on their forward line in the second 45. Jinyon Kim with the slip there.
Mike Menzi again active on defense.
Excellent tiki-taka play from Maharlika. Aerial clearance by Richard Tate. No foul called against Yunsu Park.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Everybody's giving everything to win this game.
A moment of respite after what's been a very, very 100-mile-an-hour second half so far. If you're neutral, you'll be loving it. If you're a fan of either of these sides, probably want your team to slow down just a bit.
Take a look at that press. Aristarenas running after the defense like a madman.
Ball drops to Aguilas. Here's Peña tussling with Jinyon Park. Menzi once again. How many turnovers has he won just in the second half alone?
It's that positional awareness that is giving him these opportunities. Right place, right time. That is what makes a class defender.
Jinyon Kim with some space here. Down the left has a Barle with him. Good footwork from the South Korean. He's going to win a free kick. Match heating up. Coach Moon Hong asking for a yellow card. Here was that replay.
Take a look at Jin Young Kim. Educated feet there. Tries to beat Kum again, but he does get tripped. Clear foul. And I believe this is now a free kick opportunity for Maharlika.
No card in that last instance, but Jin Young Kim doing well there to make David Kum lunge into that challenge. It's going to be Dina Barle to take this set piece. Last set piece they had led to that penalty, so there might be a little bit of unrest in those Aguilas shirts.
Perhaps it's time for Mike Menzi to use that noggin one more time and win another penalty for Maharlika.
Mike Menzi will definitely be one of those aerial targets. It's actually going to be Jayon Park to take this free kick. Iko Mangawang has to be careful, as does the defense of Aguilas. Free kick eventually comes in. It's played short. It's one of those set plays. This time it doesn't quite pay off, and Nano Amita is going to shuffle it out for a goal kick.
Nano Amita, not the biggest guy on the field, but if you give him a chance, he will absolutely bulldoze you if you get in his way.
Very, very action-packed second half, as was the first half. Might have wondered if that halftime team talk might have taken a little bit of steam off this match. The answer is no. It has picked up exactly where it left off.
Especially in Maharlika's case. Now they have a goal ahead. You'd think that they want to ease up a bit and hold on to that lead. Feisty here, trying to get into the goalkeeper's head.
It's Miyagi and Iko Mangawang Mid-block being enacted by Maharlika. Here's Kalokaran. Looking for the ball direct in behind for Jabrilla. Mike Menzi, again, smart positioning from him just to shield his goalkeeper from the onrushing front two.
Ken Ribalobo's guardian angel for tonight, none other than Mike Menzi.
Comes Peña.
Look at the pace.
Isa Diallo is offside, so nothing is going to count from this set play. High line once again from Maharlika, paying off.
It comes down to smart defensive coordination to pull off offside traps repeatedly. And Maharlika has had no problem with that so far.
Do wonder if that's a tactic they'll keep for the whole 90 minutes or as the game goes on longer and it gets later that they start dropping just that little bit deeper. If they do win today, Maharlika, it will be their second win on the bounce, and that will already match their longest winning run this season. So they've never been able to get more than 2 wins in a row, which is probably what hampered their top 6 aspirations. Still in it though, especially if they win this match. Lucindo goes back to Ken Ribalobo. Virginian Kim. Nano Amita with the foul.
Jin Kim, you don't like the way he's holding that leg of his. It looks like he's able to walk it off. Let's take a look at the replay here. He does try to go up for a header, but I wouldn't really call that a foul, would you?
Nano Amita just will make the case he was just barging into him shoulder to shoulder. Definitely not the hurricane level that we see sometimes. Hirota venturing forward. Nearly a bit of miscommunication, but it reaches Jabrilla. Good defensive work from Jim Sok Kang.
What a tackle.
Miyagi doesn't have much in front of him. And he's overcrowded. Hits the deck, but there's no foul. Nano Amita is asking for the ball. He wants to start the play. Koom has Palpalatok making the overlap. Doesn't use him. Goes back to Nano Amita. Being closed down by Aristorenas, the 2 number 10s. Ball in behind here, might be offside. And there you see it again. The high line is remaining organized and very, very compact and very drilled.
It's clear Maharlika's coaching staff have done their homework on the Aguilas. They know exactly who's going to be making these barging runs from midfield balls, and they've been able to predict them accurately. And as such, they've been winning a lot of offsides.
They do have a player down though. And they also have a player ready to come on, Ivan Owano. Moments away from checking in. Also looks like Aguilas are going to make a sub. That's the number 21, Kiro Yamamoto, who I believe is their top assister, about to check on as well. Player down for Maharlika's gonna need a little bit of treatment.
Right you are about Kira Yamamoto there, Diego. 4 assists this season, leading his team in terms of the assisting department.
And he will check on in a bit.
We are going to have to bring on a stretcher on the field. Not a pretty sight to see. This is the last thing you want to see on the football field. Hoping it's not that serious. This would be a massive blow to Maharlika in their charge for the championship round.
It's Kintaro Miyagi who needs to be stretchered off, and he's also the player to be replaced by Ivan Owano. So a like-for-like swap in terms of who's on the pitch, but Owano is a little bit of a number 9/striker, or at least he's more familiar with that role.
Ivan Owano, if I could recall, during his time with Cebu, he can play on the left wing, the striker position, and the right wing, and I think even as a 10 at sometimes. He's a do-it-all. He's a do-it-all forward who will do whatever you ask of him. So tonight, I mean, they're going to look to him to score some more goals and double up the lead here and replace an seemingly injured King Miyagi.
On the other side, you have Kira Yamamoto checking in for David Koom. So that's another creative outlet that you're bringing onto the pitch. Another roll of the dice from Coach Bing.
Substitution for Aguilas.
Will it pay off?
Number 79, David Koeman.
But how about that, Diego? They brought on, from their bench, their top scorer in Issa Diallo, and now their top assister in Kira Yamamoto. So perhaps now they're going to use their trump cards to really take it to Maharlika.
57 minutes gone by now. Still time for Aguilas to get that equalizer. Issa Diallo with number 9 play. Amita, Peña, Kira Yamamoto. Once again, the offside trap paying dividends for Maharlika. It's a very hard tactic to keep for a whole 90 minutes, but so far they have done it.
That's right. So far, so good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've been able to execute it flawlessly. You just got to keep at it and stay focused. That is the main challenge of playing a high line.
Kenry Balobo playing as a center back in possession. Goes for the diagonal that's too close to JV Kalukaran. Amita in behind for Peña. No offside this time. Rather, it was Issa Diallo who was offside. I think Peña was onside. But once again, it's becoming a bit of a common trend now. Every attack that Aguilas sent forward, they're caught offside.
But still, you're starting to see some cracks there in the high line. That first attempt was not called offside. So Maharlika cannot be resting on their laurels now. You got to tighten up.
Uano fighting for that second ball. Palpalatok makes the clearance. Amita and Aristarenas, the two captains, the two number 10s. This time it's Aristarenas winning out, but Amita makes the recovery, to be fair to him. High pressure from Uano, but is called for a foul to the disagreement of Maharlika. I can just hear, I think it's Mike Menzi, I can hear him shouting for his team to hold the line. He is signaling to stay as high as possible to call their opponents offside. You can look at it right here. You can almost see it at the halfway line. Very high line from Maharlika.
Exactly. It wasn't caught on camera, but they were perfectly aligned. That's the shape that they want to stay in. And Mike Menzi, of course, being the shot caller in that position, it falls onto him to keep everybody else in line.
Of course, he is a captain for a reason because of how much he communicates. No foul called against Peña, but they couldn't take advantage of it. Jinyon Kim, Palpalatok really tight to him, so he's forced backwards. Balobo starting to build up once again. This time, he finds that entry pass into midfield. Maharlika go for the diagonal towards Cho. Kalukaran read it well, but the clearance is not good. Byung-Suk Kang picks it up. Cho. Cutting inside. Goes for the cross, looking for Jinyon Kim. Looking for the cutback, it drops back to him. Jinyon Kim. One-on-one against Palpalatok. In by Ebarle. Yunsu Park.
Oh, what a chance! But what a sequence that is by Maharlika. You can see they're really easing into their game. They're playing the style that they want to play. They're executing it effectively. They just got to make it count now. Take a look at this replay here by Cho.
They went from right to left, then centrally for that final shot. Couldn't hit the target from there, but great work from Jinyon Kim to keep the ball in play. And this is a really good chance from Yunsu Park. The ball was slightly bouncing. Very hard shot to get on target, but that was a good chance nonetheless for Maharlika.
And I don't think we caught that on replay, but Coach Moon Hong nodding in approval. That is exactly how he set his boys up to play. He loves what he's seeing. He just wants a bit more now, a bit more to really put this game away.
61 minutes played. Scoreless in the second half. Very, very open match. If you missed it, it was a penalty from Cho Woyuk that made the difference. After Mike Menzi won the penalty off a set piece. Diego Cordero alongside Ed calling this one for you. Cartalarok. Kalukaran, the back heel. Crossing opportunity in towards an Aguilas shirt. But the contact from Yamamoto, not clean, not crisp, and not clinical. That was their biggest chance in the second half.
That was their best chance in a long time. And just lacked the power there. Disappointing there for the Aguilas. And a sigh of relief there for Kenry Baloba. An easy catch for him in the end.
A reminder also that Maharlika's lead is very slim and could easily be pulled back. But here's Aristorenas, no offside. Aristorenas
Makes it 2. What a goal by Jarell Aristorenas.
composed from the captain. The ball in behind was timed to perfection. No offside. And Aristorenas leading by example as the team captain. Take a look. Take us through this finish, Ed.
Let's take a look at this here. What a clever ball there from the midfield. Finds a line-breaking pass to Jarell Aristorenas. Again, it's those line-breaking passes, finding the right man at the right time. Jarell Aristorenas is now the club's leading goal scorer with 5 this season. What a finish that is to put it past Iko Mangawang.
There's a commotion also in the dugout. Not too sure what's happening. But Jarell Aristorenas making it 2. He didn't have a lot of space to get that shot on target. Iko Mangawang was rushing out, and if you're a goalkeeping coach, you'd probably say Mangawang was positioned pretty well to make that stop, but Aristorenas still able to squeeze it in.
Iko Mangawang, you got a feel for him. I felt like he made the choice that he thought was right, but in the end, it was one-on-one. You can't really do much in that scenario. His defense just wasn't able to help him that time.
Mountain to climb now for the Aguilas. And for Maharlika, keep your top 6 aspirations alive if you get 3 points. And there's a heavy challenge from Peña. Probably out of frustration if you're Aguilas.
You could just feel the tension at Rizal Memorial Stadium. You could cut it with a knife. Everybody is trying to put this game away. Aguilas, the frustrated of the two, probably felt that some calls didn't go their way here.
If this result holds, it will be the second time that Maharlika were able to get a win over a top 6 rival. Their first came against Stallion in that first round, but other than that, it's been loss after loss against top 6 rival. They did hold Stallion once again to a draw, but they should have won that match in all honesty. Aguilas, on the other hand, still above Maharlika even if this result holds, but not ideal to have it be closer for those top 6 spots.
And just circling back to that last year game, I believe it was November 2025, Maharlika against Stallion Laguna. This game that we're seeing here against Aguilas, this is the most complete Maharlika performance we have seen since then. I believe if you take a look at Maharlika's true potential, you're seeing a glimpse of it here, right now.
Left it slightly late in the season, but better late than never. Don't count them out of the top 6 just yet. Have another chance here. Bumsok Kang. Still going. Bumsok Kang goes for the cutback. Iko Mangawang with the catch, but it was a very mazy run from the right back, and no one could get near him.
Bumsok Kang playing with so much confidence. He's dancing with those Aguilas defenders there. Didn't get the cross that he wanted. Iko Mangawang was right there to stop him. But still, if this whole team can play with that much confidence, they can do a whole lot more damage than just 2-0.
Amita wants to change things up. Goes for the ball in behind. No offside this time. Isa Diallo goes for support. Good tackle from Enzo Lucindo. Here's Peña. Good tackle from Jarell Aristorenas, who's going to drive a counterattack. Looking for Owano, who's onside.
Oh, that is.
He's onside. No goalkeeper. It's an open goal for Ivan Owano. Goes for the shot, but couldn't find it. It remains 2-0. Chance for it to become 3. Ivan Owano couldn't get out on target. Aristorenas was also charging into the penalty box for that cross, but he couldn't be found.
Ivan Owano, perhaps he found himself too open. Too much time to think. He probably overthought that one. He could have just tapped it straight into the goal, but then again, only the players would know what they're seeing over there. But still, what a chance that could have been.
And that's the risk that's going to come with this match. Because Aguilas need to chase this game and send bodies forward, they might leave a little bit more space in behind for the likes of Owano to take advantage of. Is that nearly a mistake from Mike Menzi, but it looks like he knew what he was doing. And it also looks like Malobo has gone down. He's saying he was hit by Isa Diallo. The linesman agrees with him, so the referee eventually gives the free kick.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Kenry Balobo had an ankle out, had a knee to his back as well. Clear contact there.
Well, Kenry Balobo was on the end of a pretty nasty collision there. Needs some treatment. I don't think this is acting, because there was a collision pretty evident in that replay.
He is holding, I believe, the back of his neck there. Bit of a sensitive area, of course, to be hit. Take another look here. Maloba had the ball, tried to collect it. And here comes the knee from Isa Diallo. It does hit his back, but it's not in the area at which Baloba's holding. So you could make a case here that Balobo's taking some time off the clock.
He is back on his feet, Kenry Balobo, so he's going to restart the play here. His clean sheet still intact. Just over 20 minutes for that clean sheet to remain intact, but good distribution from the goalkeeper to Byum-Suk Kang, who's completely open. That's an obvious foul by Cartalarok, and that's going to be a card from the referee.
That is a clear frustration foul from Cartalarok, uncharacteristic of him. Typically, you'd count on him to make smart defensive stops, but in this case, he just straight up grabs Byum-Suk Kang.
That's the value you also get with Kenry Balobo. You're being faced with a high press from Aguilas, but you're able to find the spare man with a clever chip ball. And that's why he is also one of those captains for Maharlika. Here's Mike Menzi. Excellent switch of play to Cho. They have numbers again. Couldn't find the pass to Owano. But every time Maharlika go forward, you can just sense there's a little bit of space for them to exploit.
Action continuing here now. We're going to restart the play from a throw-in, I believe. But what a game this has been so far. 100 miles an hour, both sides giving it their all. Maharlika being the more successful of the two. Aguilas starting to show a little bit of desperation here, making some uncharacteristic fouls. But let's see if they can smarten up and try to get back into this game. We do have 20 minutes left to go. A lot can happen in 20 minutes.
Jinyon Kim. Maharlika, you can see a little bit more confidence. Cartalarok with another foul. He's already on a yellow card, has to be careful. Out wide to Cho. Early cross. Good delivery from Cho once again. Yunsu Park on the end of this. Couldn't generate a shot. There's a player from Aguilas hit with the ball in the head.
Look at the Aristorenas go.
Aristorenas couldn't find the target, but you can see the confidence flowing now from Maharlika.
That man cannot be stopped. He's dancing with the ball at his feet. He's playing with it like he has a string attached to his feet. Look at that 1-2 play. Creates the space for himself, tries to curl it in. Could have been goal of the year there, but fortunately for the Aguilas, it went wide.
Oh, a heavy challenge here between Menzi and Isa Diallo. Referee might need to stop the game because Menzi took a hit there.
And Mike Menzi is still on the ground. I don't believe he has moved up. Never mind, he has moved right there. But once again, Mike Menzi giving his all. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Heavy landing as well from Mike Menzi, but he does look like he will be okay. He's getting back on his feet. That's the type of fight that won him the penalty, and at the moment will contribute to a 3 points for Maharlika against a direct rival. 2 changes also for Aguilas. Peña's day is done. He will be replaced by the other Talarok, Richard Talarok, as well as Fujihira is going to come on for Gibrilla.
And in number 24, Mikhail Gibrilla is replaced by
Key substitutions here for the Aguilas, trying to tactically adjust against Maharlika. Maharlika, they've been having they've been enjoying so much free-form football in the past 20 minutes or so. Aguilas, they want a way to stop that and get some possession of their own. If you recall, Diego, in the first half, they were doing much of the controlling, but the script has completely flipped here in the second half.
Here's Owano, one-on-one against Palpalatok, has a player outside to his left. Couldn't find him. Will Owano keep this in? He does, but Mangawang quick off his line. You can just see Owano, ever since his introduction, has been a pest for the back line of Aguilas.
And in his time on the pitch, he's already had almost like one clear chance with an empty net and goal. Another chance there. A foul here by Mike Menzi. Gone a bit too hard there on Fujihira, I believe.
Yeah, Mike Menzi knew what he was doing there. You can see him barking at Owano. He really wants the 3 points this evening. Set piece opportunity for Aguilas. Time running out now for them to re-establish themselves in this match.
A hard knock taken here by Fujihira. He's holding the back of his neck. Not a good sign, but he's able to walk it off. So he should be good for the rest of the night.
Time running out for Aguilas, but they have a chance here. Sending a lot of bodies forward. Only 2 players behind the set piece. There's also some extracurriculars that the referee is going to have to stop. Set piece will eventually come in. Very direct cross in towards the dangerous area, but it was slightly too deep. A few shouts from the Aguilas contingent in Rizal for a penalty, but that was on Richard Tete, who himself didn't really protest. Maharlika, even though they're 2-0 up and there's 15 minutes left, they're going to opt to continue playing out from the back, which is a brave strategy, but one that has worked. This would be such a massive result if it stands for Maharlika. They also lost 4-0 away at Cebu. And they lost to Kaya twice in 2026. Lost to 1 Taguig as well. Couldn't beat Stallion after leading that match. So it's been a while since they've won against one of the bigger teams in the PFL. But they're getting closer to doing just that. Arias Terrenos picks up the loose ball, looking for Jinyon Kim. Cleared by Palpalatok. Great touch from Jinyon Kim. Smart pass to Byum-Sok Kang. But he loses out. Here's JV Kalukaran. Potential counter-attack for Aguilas. Maharlika, to be fair to them, got back in their shape pretty quickly. Amita, Cartalarok. Looking for his brother, but he couldn't find him. Now it's Maharlika with the potential counter. And that's an obvious foul once again from Cartalarok, who he himself is also on a yellow card.
Ironically, it's the players who are on the yellow cards who are still continuing to commit these fouls. You'd want them to go ahead and tone down on that unless you want to be sent off.
Aguilas as well out of substitution, so they can't take those yellow carded players out. Here's Jinyon Kim. Goes back to Lucindo. Going direct, looking for Owano. And Owano does really well to keep that in. Makes the cross, but had no one really expecting the fact that he would keep that in. Here's Amita. Down the left now for Aguilas. Again, they're running out of time. They need to make it count now. Early cross, chance! But the header straight to Kenrid Balobo. That was Fujihira, the number 22. And Balobo, also number 22, with the save. It was actually an easy save in the end there.
Again, Aguilas. I believe this is the second opportunity they had. They had a right man at the right place, but again, lacking power to really challenge Kenry Balobo. Another easy save for him. And as it stands, we are 77th 77 minutes into the game, still nothing concrete from the Aguilas.
They've not been on a good run of form, which probably isn't what they deserve, especially away at Cebu. It's very brutal. You get punished at the top level, even for small mistakes. Potential chance here for Maharlika. Good interception from Caloocaran. You can just see, though, that Maharlika are so quick to get back in that shape.
Coach Moon Hong definitely drilled this into his team. You love to play the counters, but when you have a lead like this and it's your turn to defend, don't press, just get back into your shape and get ready to defend.
Another good tackle there from Yum Suk Kang. He has been spotless so far. And that's the type of performance that Maharlika have had. They've been really, really tenacious, as well as making their technical moments count when they needed to. Attempted reverse ball, unsuccessful for Aguilas. They really can't find a way through or around this Maharlika team. There's a collision there, uncalled by the referee.
Here come the 10s going at it.
Urgency required if you're Aguilas. Palpalatok down the right. Can he work out the cross? He does. But he couldn't find a teammate. Amita thought about the shot for a second. Cartalarok. Very, very compact shape for Maharlika. Chance may be here. Attempted pass is too close to Byum Suk Kang. Their defensive shape, Maharlika, very compact, very solid, very resolute. And Aguilas are having trouble going through it.
And you don't see this very often. Maharlika not pressing on defense. They're instead electing to hold a solid shape. Of course, to account for player fatigue. But it's worked out well. Here comes a counter by Maharlika.
Jinyon Kim this time loses out to Richard Tete. Mike Menzi was in full throttle for that challenge. Referee has reached into his pocket. Mike Menzi went into that one with a lot of force, and he's gonna walk away with a yellow card.
Deserved yellow there for Mike Menzi. He went in that too hard. Look at the replay here. Crunching tackle by Mike Menzi on Cartalarok. Yes, Cartalarok, who is now getting up off the ground. It's good to see that he doesn't stay down for long, but still a good chance for Aguilas to restart the play here.
Mike Menzi will argue he got the ball. Did look like he went through the man to get it. So far in this match, Mike Menzi has gone 100% into those challenges. This time, though, he is late to that one. Iko Mangawang is going to take this set piece. They need to send more bodies forward now, but that's going to be too close to Kenry Balobo. Goalkeeper to goalkeeper there. And Kenry Balobo, quite smartly, just running down a few more seconds. Getting really close now, Maharlika, to this result. Clean sheet would be massive as well. Here's Aristarenas in a pocket of space. Aristarenas unable to find a teammate. There is space to counter though if you're Maharlika. So Aguilas have to be careful of that as well. Richard Tete gave away the penalty in that first half. That's where the match really changed. Mike Menzi goes down, no foul called. He's still down. Issa Diallo! That would have changed the game.
Chance goes a begging, just dragged a bit wide there. But of course, prior to that, there was a little incident. Here it is on replay. Perhaps stepped on an ankle there, I believe, from Mike Menzi.
Yeah, Mike Menzi just got clipped by Issa Diallo. No foul there. So this would have counted had it gone on target, but it goes just wide. I think Kenry Balobo also knew that was going wide. There's going to be a substitution for Maharlika. It's going to be the number 25, Romeo Opong, to check in place of Cho Woyuk, who got the go-ahead goal. And as things stand, he is one of those match winners alongside Jarell Aristorenas, who got the second goal. That's why it is 2-0 at the moment. For those of you who may have missed it, Diego Cordero alongside Ed calling this one for you.
What a performance by Cho Woyuk here today. Gave 100% of himself. Even now, as we see him walking over to the bench, he has a little bit of a wobble to him. He is exhausted. And in his place, we have a very energetic winger slash midfielder in Romeo Opong. Just the type of guy you need in a late game situation when everyone else is tired.
That's right. He'll add that energy and defensive contribution to try and help out his defense see this result out. Also scored a goal against Stallion when they won in that first round match.
Interception. There's Terrenas with a creative little kick there.
Here's Amita.
What composure that is.
Cartalera goes for the big switch. Will it be successful? It's out of play. That won't help their case. Every time the ball goes out, expect Maharlika just to eat up a little bit more seconds. Good game management is what I would call it. Time wasting is what others would call it. But they're getting close now. Just 6 minutes plus stoppage time until they confirm the 3 points.
And every time Maharlika has had a throw-in, I've been keeping an eye on the clock. They've been taking around 15 to 30 seconds to put the ball back into play. So for every pass that Aguilas sends outward, that's the amount of time they're giving up, and that's the amount of time slipping away from them to try to get back into this game.
Here's Amita. Diagonal out wide. Palpalatok, will he get on the end of this? Will he keep it in? Does just about. He's gonna win a corner kick. Palpalatok does well there. Kiara Yamamoto will take this corner kick. If you're gonna make it 2-1, to at least put some anxiety into Maharlika, now would be the time. Left-footed delivery from Yamamoto. 4 assists. The top assister of his team needs to do it a 5th time here. In by Yamamoto. Unable to find the teammate. This player down for Maharlika, it's Oano. Ball will come into the penalty box. Actually a shot from that angle. Took a deflection though, so it's going to be another corner kick for Aguilas. We're running out of time. They need to make one of these set pieces count now.
Again, with 85 minutes down, late game situation, you have to be a little more decisive in your decision making. Do you really want to be hoofing the ball from distance when none of them have come close to being on target? Or do you elect to play smarter passes to try to unlock this stubborn Maharlika defense?
In-swinger sent in. Header cleared by Maharlika. They survive. They're going to try to launch a counterattack. But Opong, rather smartly, just waits for the throw-in. And they're going to take their time to take this one as well.
That's exactly why Opong is in the game in a late game situation. A man who has more energy than the people you're playing against. You can go the extra mile in denying them from getting back into this game.
Very impressively, Aguilas have used all 5 of their subs. Maharlika have only made 2 this late on. So the starting 11, majority of it at least, has put the game plan to perfection. Aguilas need to get the ball up the pitch. They do so here. Maharlika still keeping their high line. Amita. Yamamoto goes out wide, but that pass is poor and straight to Byum-Seok Kang, whose ball progression has also been excellent this evening. Lucindo to Byum-Seok Kang. So press resistant in the way he dribbles.
Look at this. This is exactly the type of play Maharlika is known for, playing out of defense. Though they didn't nail the final pass there on that occasion, still, what they're capable of is very impressive.
Isa Diallo goes for the cross, but that's mishit straight to Ivan Oano. Potential counterattack here. Could have been ugly there. Cartalarok now in the midfield. Started as the winger.
Take a look at Aristorenas' energy, though. Not playing like a man who's been playing almost 90 minutes.
Once again, more dogged defending by Maharlika. Potential counter here. Ivan Owano couldn't get it under control. Pass from Tete is too close to Mike Menzi. He's going to call his goalkeeper here. That might be a foul. But the referee's telling both players to get up.
Mike Menzi just giving his all to protect Kenry Baloba and his team's goal. He's still down. Looks to be in a lot of discomfort.
Play's not stopping here. Could get messy for Maharlika. Referee's finally going to stop the game for Mike Menzi's injury.
What a disaster that would have been. A man down, your most impactful defender tonight all game, and still the play still going against you.
He went down after a challenge against Issa Diallo, but there was no foul called. Here's the replay on that incident. Was obviously tripped by Issa Diallo, but where the injury happened specifically, I can't really tell. Maharlika going to take a little bit of sting out of the game as well. Aguilas want the game to continue as quick as possible.
Menzi appears to be back on his feet, but he is on the touchline for now to get some of that magic spray on his right calf, I believe.
Mike Menzi does look fit to continue. If Maharlika are going to make that late charge into the top six, he is a player you need for all of your games.
And if you are Maharlika, you want Mike Menzi back in the field ASAP.
Down to 10 men for a short spell. Mike Menzi is being readied on the touchline, but Aguilas need to take advantage of this if they can. Maharlika very close now to the 3 points. 5 minutes of additional time. Would be their second win on a row. Should match their best run this season. Their next game is against Tuloy FC on April 11. But they need to close out this match in the final 5 minutes. Doesn't get any easier also for Aguilas. They will be up against Kaya on April 12. Yamamoto goes for the diagonal. Richard Talarok cuts inside, trying to beat his defender. Has an overlap in Yamamoto. The pass infield was misplaced. Mike Menzi checks back on.
Again, poor decision making. That was a golden opportunity to try and score against a Mike Menzi-less Maharlika side.
And offside trap paying off yet again. Look at the time and look at the tactic. You're leaving so much space to be exploited, but because of how well drilled you are, still able to call that offside trap.
Imagine the frustration these Aguilas forwards must be feeling. You're unable to make anything concrete out of the chances that you have, and still you're not able to really bypass that high line that Maharlika's putting up against you.
There's a player down here as well for Maharlika. They're also readying 2 changes. They're going to make a last-minute change, it looks like, because they now have a player down. Kashiwabara. And one more player will check in, looks like Rilio Raza. Player needs to be stretched off here, actually. It's Dina Barle, one of your captain figures as well.
That would make him the second Maharlika player being stretchered off tonight. Of course, one is already bad enough. But to have 2 stretchered off, you gotta hope that it's nothing serious. You're gonna need every man you can get to make that championship round charge.
Maharlika, though, will be pleased that not only have they kept solid in this match, a clean sheet against a direct rival. It's actually the first time they keep a clean sheet against a team in the top 6. So it's an achievement for Coach Moon Hong and his backline and the rest of the team. It was a very cohesive unit, and that's why, so far, Aguilas haven't been able to score. Aguilas, though, didn't help themselves at times, must be said.
They had so many clear chances that just went begging, unable to really convert those golden opportunities. And now they have nothing, they have no one to really blame but themselves.
Confirmation of the subs, Shirley Raza will check in for Dine Barle, who got stretchered off. Jin Young Kim will also check off in place of Kashiwabara.
Barle is replaced by player number 8, Nathan Villarasa.
Again, Aguilas. You think back now to that first half of the first half where they were the dominant team in possession. Their best chance was that one for, I think it was Richard Tate in the first half, of a set piece that went just wide. So they weren't able to take advantage in that spell. And they get punished for that.
Speaking of Richard Tete's chances, that one beautiful through ball he played earlier in the first half, that really should have unlocked the defense because it bypassed every single Maharlika player except the goalkeeper.
Fine margins have decided this football match. It's Maharlika who have taken their chances, and it's Aguilas who will rue theirs. 1 minute left of open play. They're gonna go long now, but that's too close to Kenry Balobo. And that might be the clean sheet. Kenry Balobo is gonna run down a few more seconds, and he's telling his team to go long. No playing out this time around.
Taking no chances. You want to keep your clean sheet. You want to hold on to your win. Just stick to what you know and get that ball out of your own half.
Opong nearly on the end of this, but Iko Mangawang able to gather that just about. JV Kalakaran goes down as well. 20 seconds just about left before the full-time whistle. It's been a very tough evening for Aguilas. Back to the drawing board for Coach Bing and company. For Coach Moon Hong and company and the rest of the squad. They pulled themselves back into that fray of the top six and they open things up. That's going to be another offside. Again, great high line from Maharlika.
Just unable to bypass this Maharlika high line. Nothing they've tried today has been working.
Offside traps, very hard to maintain for the full 90 minutes. But credit where credit is due, that's what Maharlika have done. Offside traps, a tactic that needs concentration for the whole game, and to be fair to them, they've done it.
This might very well be the closing sequence of this fantastic game.
We've played the 5 minutes. Up to the referee now how much he's going to allow to continue. But it looks like this is going to be it. There you have it, full time. Maharlika 2, Aguilas 0. They get another win against the top 6 rival. They keep a clean sheet as well. And they pulled themselves back in to that top 6 battle. They've opened it up, and they're going to make the next few match weeks very interesting. What did you make of Maharlika tonight, Ed?
Maharlika today played their best football since the first round. They're in that 3-1 win over Stallion, I believe. They were complete, defensively organized. They were making those clear passes. Everything was working according to plan here today. So bravo to Maharlika, a well-deserved win for them.
Goals from Cho and Aristorenas in the first half and second half is the reason why it's 2-0 in favor of Maharlika. For Aguilas, back to the drawing board before their game against Kaya. We're going to have an international break for now, so there's going to be a couple weeks without PFL action. But don't go anywhere because the season is really starting to heat up. Diego Cordero alongside Ed for the 2 matches tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
For more details on the Philippines Football League 2025-2026 season. Thank you everyone and good night. We are PFL.
Congratulations for
Thank
claiming
you.
the victory today. And with that, we would like to know what are your thoughts about it?
Oh, definitely. Good. Is it on?
Okay. Again, congratulations. And we would like to know what are your thoughts about the game?
First of all, that was a huge 3 points for the Maharlika team. We're so happy and thankful, and I'm very thankful for every one of my teammates because they really pushed, and that also puts us in the top 6 race now. So 2-3 games left to go, and we look forward to it. Good.
Knowing that, how do you plan to move forward given the...
Moving forward, we take it game by game. So next week we have Taloy. We will focus on that, and hopefully we get the 3 points and we finish out the season strong.
Lastly, and a message to your fans.
Message. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my son. I know he's in Boracay on the beach having a good time. First of all, and I want to say I love you guys. And to all my Maharlika family, yeah, thank you for the continuous support, everyone. Good, thank you.